many Catholic priests have disappeared in communist China? How many of 1 million people, Uyghurs, have been in concentration camps? We're all okay with this? When they found the Jews at the end of the war, people were totally mortified. And yet we've been desensitized. The whole thing. I tell this all the time. Don't watch me a video do this. I walk into any store, Walmart, Woodley's Furniture, Fort Collins. First thing I say is, where's the American-made section? You know what? They think that the lady we're looking. She thinks there should be one. She's 50 years old. She doesn't know where it is. But she knows there should be one. Why don't we all do this starting tomorrow? You can't buy everything in America, but the leader of the country should. The members of the Congress should. Not everybody. Listen, you can't get a phone made in America. Mine's not. You know, replacement tire. I look for the B6 on a Michelin's made somewhere in like Alabama, Mississippi, I'm sorry. The B6 on the, I know this, I even know the numbers. Like I go into a Ford dealership, where's the ones made in America? I need a Michelin. And Michelin's a French company, right? But they make tires in America. Sometimes I can't. I have a series of tires made in Nova Scotia. I go from America to Nova Scotia to England to Australia, and I stop when I get to, Vietnam and China, right? I mean, why aren't people doing this? Because our leaders won't do it. And why won't they do it? Because we don't tell them to. If we told them to, if, for example, by the way, 10% of Americans tomorrow morning asked about where the American products were, asked, I only want American-made tires. I want that American, I'm gonna buy one belt instead of two, it's gonna come from Filson, right? I call up LOB, I went to Bowdoin College, you know? They only make certain boots, those duck boots, they only make certain sizes, I don't even like them. The ones that are a little too tall for me, those are the ones I buy, they still make them in America. I wear them. What the heck do I care? Right? I mean, you know, so it's not that I don't have some Hermes ties from the old days, I do. They're made in France, but they're not made in China. This is a big topic. We're talking about solutions. We've got to take part in it. We've got to be active in it. We can't just be, oh, I love that guy's personality. We've got to be on policies. Policies that work. Policies that will, a manufacturing job, my father was a toolmaker. A manufacturing job in America, a new one, creates 4 jobs. Not one job, called a multiplier effect. Everybody took macro except for the guy who runs the Fed knows this. Right? It's the highest multiplier. This is, you know, listen, you open a factory, you gotta have a guy making the ball bearings nearby. Some guy's gonna serve lemonade. The guy shows up with a truck to serve, you know, food, right? I mean, you know, there's all these things happen. There's 4 jobs. We all know this. We don't do it. We, conservatives, don't do it. We don't pay attention. And we're only going to get one more shot. And if we don't take it back, that thing in the distance I hear, we don't take it back and do the right thing and tell people the inability of politicians to say it's going to cost some people. I said this last night, I'll say it again to you. Social Security. There's no way to fix Social Security without the people between the ages of 40 and 65 taking some of the hit. No way. Can't be fixed. It can be fixed pretty easily if indeed we tell people we got a new system. You're 50 years old, no, you're younger than that, but you're 50 years old, let's say, right? We just zero you out what you have. You're going to get that, whatever you're in for, you know. There's a new program tomorrow. The 20-year-old is now invested in one worldwide stock bonds and portfolio. We don't need any brokers, we just need a computer. The person, 20-year-old Jimmy, he gets married to Sally. They have their accounts. They own them. Jimmy dies, his heirs get it. He's 27, he gets hit by a car. Jimmy and Sally get divorced, they have their separate accounts. There's no need for the lawyers to get involved. They still own it. They can't take anybody out. They get to be 65, we stop buying annuities. There'd be a lot more money. I did a paper on this in 1983 in an economics class. How much more money there would be if it was just invested properly? 60-40-40, which 60-40-20, which I know no one can do anymore until the market goes down. Everybody does it, right? You gotta be all invested. And it's ridiculous, people, the brokerage firms. But it can be done. The people who are 65, we're not gonna, already got it. It is what it is. Over time, obviously, assets match liabilities. And what do we have a problem with? Working class poor. They probably won't make enough doing what they're doing to have enough. We limit the problem. In the PPP thing, we just put money out. and there wasn't any welfare, no food stamps, right? No economic stabilizers and unemployment. I said, this president's going to lose to this. Why is he agreeing to this? What are people doing? What do you mean sending people money in the mail? What are you talking about? There's many, many millionaires who made less than $150,000 that year of 2019. They just didn't make money. They didn't want to. They had a Roth IRA with $5 million. What did they care? Right? I mean, so we can't, this is the other point I want to make. We can't be lazy. That is total laziness. Responding to what is a problem, and a problem. And as I said on the radio, listen, my daughter has stage 4 cancer. That's my problem. That ain't your problem. You weigh 450 pounds, you're 65 years old, you drink a gallon of brew a day, that's your problem. Herman Cain was my friend. He had cancer. I don't know what he showed up at a thing for. He had an immune system, and he died. Wonderful man, should have been president. The 999 program was a wonderful man. He was a great guy. If you ever met him, I met him. I sat with him in Atlanta one time for 4 hours. I thought I met my alter ego. Black guy, white guy, sitting there laughing and laughing all day long about what really happened and so forth, and how he got going to be president and so forth. But anyway, we need solutions. I just gave you one for Social Security. Can you repeat it to 5 people you see tomorrow? It's not like the most difficult plan of all time. And by the way, there are other ones, but we don't have a plan. And so we need to walk around and say, yes, I'm going to change. I've been part of the worst generation. I know the guys who fought in World War II. I didn't do that. They're too old. Most of them died. We're the worst generation. We let this happen. Issue after issue after issue. If you're a businessman, what do? You get a budget. Does anybody in the U.S. go to the budget and say, oh my God, look at this budget. $1 trillion on Medicare, $1 trillion on Medicaid, $1 trillion on making, I'm off by 100 billion, but it's up $1 trillion on Social Security, 850 on social. We only collect in a good year 40, 60, 70% of what we spend in a good year, and we're all okay with it. I mean, if someone had just stood up at the by the way, Rand Paul voted for the PPP program. To go look at the vote, 3 congressmen did. 3 congressmen. Every U.S. senator voted for this, and I cite it as the most monstrous piece of laziness that only really helped wealthy people. A complete study's been done on it. There's like 70,000 cases of fraud with 12 people from the IRS looking into it. It looks like, and you've got all these people who actually we could have been really focused. We didn't. And it's our fault. It's our fault. Because we weren't in power, and we were in power, and we let it happen. And the conservative voice never said a word about it. I don't know why, when Donald Trump, and I'm not trying to get on Donald Trump, but when Donald Trump, after the election, or said, just before the election, I need some of those negative interest rates, where was the U.S. congressman or senator to say, you're full of crap? We don't need these. We need market rates to set prices so we don't have housing prices explode. Where was the one person? I said on the radio 100 times, I'm only on the radio. There was not a single elected official who said this. I could go on forever about this stuff. There's more topics. Topic after topic. White collar crime. Right? J.P. Morgan pays out 1/3 of its pre-tax income in fines. No one goes to jail. If I was president, I would make one rule where you're not settling. By the way, great political issue. Just the opposite of student loan repayment. No, we're never settling white collar crime. Everyone goes to trial. We're never stopping. And we'll send some people to jail. Be widely popular. Just as popular it would be, on the other side, the student loan debt. Is there a Republican policy to end it? For example, I would hate it. I'd be against it. I want to be on the record. But if someone said, you know what, we're going to make bankruptcy easier, okay. We're going to forgive some of this debt. But in return, by the way, is there in return? There isn't. Not for my party. In return, there will be no student loans granted for people who leave the state to go to a different state school. If you live in SUNY, you pay 10 grand tuition. You live at home, whatever. If you want to go to Nebraska for 50 grand, because it's out-of-state tuition plus room and board, there's no loan. All state schools that want to still be involved in the student loan program have to have senior professors teach 3 classes a semester. I taught 1 class per semester while I was mayor at the University of Rhode Island. I could have taught 3 and never broke a sweat. there wasn't a 22-year-old who had any idea what I was talking about more than me. Not one question came up that I didn't know the answer. Market, whatever. People can do this. So there'd be rules. I mean, I could give you 4 more rules, but there'd be things that we don't even try that. In return for doing this, because it really is something that got out of hand, we require this. How about this one? 2008, 2009. You know what? We can't have a country that's going broke, that nobody has any money. And I'm not saying we should do this, but there'll be a mandatory $2,000 IRA that nobody can borrow against, nobody can take out. So if this happens in 10 years, everybody will have 20 grand plus whatever they invested in the market, this or that. We didn't do that. We didn't require anything except waiting for the next disaster. And the disasters are getting bigger. Have you noticed? They're getting bigger. And it started with long-term cap. It started with the crash of '87 in Greenspan. I want to stop here. You know, putting some money into the system. Oh, we didn't have a recession. Let's do it with long-term capital. Let's do this. Let's do that. 2008. Let's do this. Let's buy bonds. Let's blah, blah, blah. All avoiding the truth. And we let it happen. And I can't let it happen anymore. There has to be a candidate in 2024 who's willing to say stuff like this for you people to get behind, to say, no, the guy's right. The lady, whoever, right? They're right. We're going to have to do this. Because we have kids. I have 6. And they don't have a future the way I did. I lived the American dream. I went to go to college in a needs-blind school. My man died. When I got to Harvard Business School, out of college. I wasn't supposed to get it, but I did. I couldn't believe I did. A man literally died, named Knox, the day before. When I got back to school, there was a Knox scholarship for anybody who wanted to go to Harvard Business School, and I didn't go. I had to go to Harvard Business School. I've lived this amazing American dream. I'm very appreciative. And I'm very appreciative to be here with you. But my message is a very stern one. It's not joking around. You know, it's over. And we're going to have to work through it, and we can't let it be 1917 in Russia. We have to be in positions, and people, if we have a team of people in 2024, because we're going to take power of this issue. It's going to be good enough to say, Democrats suck. I hope it is in New York. Republicans aren't so bad. Whatever you want to say. You're going to win 40 House, we're going to win Senate. It's going to happen. Because the Democrats, the only thing we got going for us, they're so stupid, they can't come up with anything to think of that would make any sense. We think as people who have brains, they should do this, right? They should do that. When the State of the Union address came up, I did an imitation of Joe Biden. How did Jimmy Laffey says he's your counterpart in court in Northern Colorado. He does a great show, by the way. I listened to before and afterwards. But like, he could have said, you know, we love green energy, and we need 0 emissions, and the world is ending, and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? We're going to put it in abeyance for like 3 years. we need you to pump as much oil. We got to do the coal. We got, you know, because he's going to get oil at $60 a barrel. It's over. People are going to the pump. They don't know much more than that, some of them. But they know something's radically wrong, and they'll throw out the party. He could have blamed the Fed when he came in. He could have forced resignation. They're just dumb as rocks. Thank God. Dumb as rocks. Not a single thing he's done makes anything better. And I'm very appreciative because I can live for the next 7 months to see it happen. But when it happens, you've got to find Congressman Williams and see how he's going to balance the budget. I pray to God that you get elected because there's giant problems and it's a totally important position. Miss Albanese, or Mrs. Albanese, who is here, I pray to God she wins. These people will do the right thing. That's why they're here in front of you. But the other people won't. And like I told the billionaire, who, by the way, I looked over, back to the billionaire story, and I'll finish with this. I looked over at the consultants who had called me to come. I said, sir, I'm not getting paid. I'm going to charge you $1 for the movie when I could charge you 10. These people are just taking your money. I mean, that's what they do. It's what, you can pay them. You've got plenty of money. But we're not going to get the job done unless we do something different. So I went out to speak, went to Alaska. I actually called them. I said, Don Young is here at this event. What does he have to do with balance? What is Mikowski showing up for to give a talk? How do I introduce Senator Mikowski, right, to vote to reduce debt? I was like, I don't know how to, what do I say? She's like a nice lady. She has nothing. Don Young is like the bridge to nowhere, man. That's what I said. And he's like, I go, 500 people showed up, and then he canceled it. I was like, good, I'll go home back home, hang up with my wife. Because, while he had a good idea, we have, again, what I'm telling you, you have to do things in a different way. And I'm happy to answer any questions, if you get the time, or if you have a question. But I'll stop here because it's going on, and once I get rolling, I have to stop myself. I hope I get across the point of the gravity, though, and the evidence, and what you have to do, and what we have to do, and what candidates have to do this, and the message has to be radically different once we get in. And I think the people knew it was fair, like Little Oak Ranch, Rhode Island, they would clap. That's my prayer for you.
All right, Steve Laffey, nice job, Steve. Let's bring up the chairman one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman Murray.
The first thing that I would like to do is thank everyone for coming tonight again, and I definitely would like to say thank you to Steve Laffey for coming in all the way from for you guys. Thank you very much for your contribution to our efforts tonight. Steve, this one is for you. There you go. Got one here for Zach. Thank you. Dave, thank you very much too for coming in on short notice and doing this for us as well. Appreciate it. I do want to acknowledge the candidates that are in the room, many of whom are running on the conservative line. So, you know, I'm not going to call you out by name, but if the candidates would please take a moment to rise and so they can be acknowledged, please. Yes. Holding conservative values, not just during the campaign, but after you get elected, like Steve said. Okay? There's one conservative candidate here tonight, too. Justin Coretti, are you still here? There he is. Thank you. He's running for state senate. We're going to do this again. We're going to have a couple more events this year. This is something that I pledged to try to do, to bring people together so that they can hear our candidates and get to know what our values are. We're hoping to bring back the golf tournament. It's been sitting in limbo for the last couple of years, thanks to a little thing called COVID. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. And then hopefully we're going to also do another candidate forum as well. We're going to give people the opportunity to meet all the candidates that are running on the Conservative Party line as we get closer to the fall and closer to election. Last but not least, I've been dying to do this all evening. We're going to have a final blessing here in just a moment. So I'm just going to simply say this. Help me, Obi-Wan from Frank Pompey. You're my only hope.
Benediction. How would you like to give benediction? The blessing, the final blessing? Would you help me? Sure. You will then? Okay. Does anybody remember Sidney Poitier? Anybody remember the movie? Yep. Lilies in the Field? Yep. You gotta help me. Are you ready? Amen. 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 Sing it over. Amen. Dead? Amen. 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 See him in the temple. Amen. Talking to the elders. Amen. Showing them wisdom. Amen. Amen. Just a little closing comment, you know. We listened to a lot tonight. But at the beginning, when we prayed, I hope you did like me. I I ask the Lord to reveal the truth. The truth. Because the Lord who is the truth will reveal the truth tonight. Can you feel his presence here then? He's not going to abandon us. He's at the heart of your movement and anybody who believes in and wants to live the truth and confront the world and evil with the truth. Because it's the truth that will set us free. Amen. Thanks for letting me come. How about a hand for this verb, huh? Hey.
Take care, bud.
Folks, thank you for coming tonight. God bless each and every one of you. And if anybody needs a 2 o'clock wake-up call, let me know. Listen tomorrow morning to 570 WSYR starting at 5 o'clock. Thanks.
Set up today. This is fun. Your You guys get a picture.
All right, I have a feeling through right here.
Come on, I want to come back here.
We're over here.
Come right here. There's
You
more
know, we
room
should
back
do
here.
better.
Listen, we don't know where paper is. That's great. My good side.
I like this right out here in the end.
No, Dave, you need to be in the middle. Come on, Dave. Get on over here. Come on, Dave. I'm on the wrong party.
Hey, guess what? You're in this party, right? Yeah. Get over here.
Get over here. Wait, we got 88 people. We need our fearless leader, the champion.
Get some guys on the end. Smiling.
That's the whole point.
I need to do everything. We're all talking. You're all talking. Keep that here.
Yeah, so that we are involved, not typically.
Yeah.